Being busy is good. We're those people, aren't we? Aren't we? We're those people that were like, I just want a day where I do nothing. I want like a month where I do nothing, a week where I do nothing. We've had 2 years where we've basically done nothing. So anytime someone's like, oh, it's too busy, I'm like, fuck that. Get to it. Welcome to the program. My name is Dean. That, of course, Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton, host of the Locker Room. You can listen to it Eastern Standard or Eastern Daylight Saving Time, depending on what fucking part of the month and year we're in. Every day in Canada, 7:30 until 11:30, apparently. That's what I found out yesterday. But that's if you're in Alberta, because he's in Edmonton, you can listen. What time do you start? 6 o'clock?
Just figuring out old fucking time changes, eh? Thanks, Dean.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We've just been placating you, and you say we start at 3. I'm like, yeah, okay, we got.
No, you start at like 6, right? That's what time your morning show starts?
No, I mean this podcast.
It starts whenever.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about me and time. I fucking cannot.
You have a real battle with it. I'm on the air every morning with the boys in the 5 o'clock hour.
That's not true. You don't start at 5. You do start at 5?
Live.
You don't? No.
Not live.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a pre-record.
I run some best of shit in the mornings just to let us have time to get a coffee. And
did you steal that from me?
I don't know if I stole it from you. I've been doing it for years.
Yeah. We used to do it from like 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. and then 5 a.m. we'd get on and then we'd bang it out till like 10 o'clock and then we'd split.
Yeah.
I wanted the whole radio station to just be me all day long.
Well, I brought that up, and they're against it.
I get it. Anyway, that's Lachlan Cross, radio guy from Edmonton, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton. And you can also follow him on Twitter at Lachlan Cross Army. Chris, host of the Fire for Effect podcast. One of Canada's finest soldiers, 25 years reporting for duty, combat veteran, an ammunitions expert. We're going to update you on the warfare and kind of what's going on in Ukraine with Russia invading Ukraine. I know they're talking today, but we're kind of bringing everybody up to speed because it's super important and everybody's kind of trying to support the people in Ukraine who are just getting fisted by an absolute fucking terrorist. So anyway, Chris is going to get into it with that and talk about a couple of other things when it comes to things that nobody knows because he only knows like lethal equipment. I heard that word like 4 times yesterday. Lethal equipment. I want to know what lethal equipment looks like, sounds like, and what it is. We've got some incredible video also from Kharkiv, Ukraine, from Kyiv, Ukraine as well, of the damage and destruction that's being done and the resilience of those people too. So we'll get to that. And Bonzi's here as well. Bonzi Live is the name of the podcast, and he's afraid of snakes, spiders, and he's still a refugee on an island down in the south. Refugee Island, right?
Not
is that where
refugee.
you are? Refugee Island.
You were coming home. What happened there?
Yeah,
I am coming home
here now.
You got stopped at the border.
No, a couple of things happened. One I can't talk about at all. Something personal. And then I lined up a couple of really good interviews here. And then we got some T-shirts being made that are ready tomorrow. And then I got a flight home next week.
Okay. Can I ask you a question, Bonzi?
I know what's coming.
Are you in a Nicaraguan witness protection program right now?
No, I'm not in.
What personal happened? Come on, you can't do that. I mean, I'm dealing with the wrong guys for this.
I promise I wouldn't talk about. There's one thing I can't talk about. It's family and something in that realm. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's family stuff. It's nothing that happened down. See, what Locke is trying to get at, he wants to know if you finally were stabbed. That's what he wants to know.
Did you get stabbed?
My assumption is you were in shit within 48 hours of hitting the ground.
No, not at all. Nothing happened here. I still, I'll swear on it till I'm dead. Nothing happened here to make me not stay here for 3 months, but something happened that stopped me from going home as soon as I was going to go home.
All right. So well, you keep that.
Your stolen motorcycle had nothing to do with a poker game that went sideways.
It got accidentally taken. It was a little mishap. That's all.
Wait a second. Hold it. You had your motorcycle stolen down there. You had your moped stolen.
Well, I thought
he did a week of podcasts on it.
Dude, I've been busy.
I have a motorbike here, and I came out from where I was inside working, using their Wi-Fi and stuff, and just getting out of here once in a while from the apartment. And I came out, and my bike was gone.
Yeah.
Now, I have a buddy. He's done this to me before in years coming here. And he'll take my bike and he'll literally go through the trouble of wheeling it down the street and hiding it around the corner. So I walked up and down the street, couldn't find it anywhere. And it turns out the place that I rented it from, what my buddy owns, his workers were closing shop, and I was parked in between their business and where I was inside working. And they put it away for the night because they thought it was one of the rentals that wasn't rented out. And it took me about an hour and a half to figure that out. We thought it was stolen.
Wow.
And I'm just out of curiosity, did you react appropriately to your bike being stolen?
Listen, you can't get too upset. I mean, it's a rental. It's not like,
it's not yours.
It's not a huge deal. So,
but amicable resolution is how it ended.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you found your bike. Okay. So you're in Nicaragua. Before we get to the good stuff, you're in Nicaragua. Now you are there with a whole bunch of Canadian expats. I call pussies, but you're there with a whole bunch of people from Canada who are too big a pussy to put on a mask or get a shot, and so they all went down there. You sent us a couple of videos. Now I want to play this video forth, and then I want you to explain this to me. These are a couple of Canadians that we're going to watch. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. These Canadians do not want to be called refugees, even though they're acting like fucking total refugees, by the way. Watch
I don't
this.
understand.
Let the refugees fight. Somebody throw me a knife. Throw me a knife.
What the fuck? Who are those people? That is an existence I can't understand. Standing there going, wasted. I'm not a fucking refugee, even though you moved there like a refugee. But what the fuck is that?
So for some reason, those two don't get along. The guy out in the street with no shirt on came by, and he was more drunk than the guy in the shirt who said he wasn't a refugee. So the whole refugee thing comes from a group of people from Canada chartered an entire plane to escape Canada because they hated up there. And they felt that their rights and freedom were taken away.
Can I correct you?
And so they all chartered a plane.
Can I correct you? They hated it up there? That's a weird way to say they're huge pussies. Go ahead.
So they came down here and they went on all the local websites, if you will, Facebook pages, and were quite vocal about them coming down here and calling themselves refugees. And it did not go over with the contingent of people that were already here as just long-term expats that decided to leave the country, not because they hated their country, just they wanted a different life. They wanted to come down and live in paradise. So these people have not been well liked here at all. They kind of keep to themselves. They don't come out a whole lot, but they really have kind of infiltrated the town. It's pretty wild here, and they're not liked at all.
They don't like the Canadians down in Nicaragua. In that, what's the name of the town you're in? Juan Patro del Horso or something like that?
San Juan del Sur.
Whatever. So, okay, you're San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua. Canadians that flood the fucking town, take it over, and act like assholes. Listen, let me explain something to you here.
I find this all really hard to believe that they're not liked. They're acting like
they weren't
assholes.
liked when they were here. That's why they went there. And now they're wearing out their welcome there because when they were here, they were the same fucking idiot they are there.
The commie draft dodgers.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How are we dealing without them here?
I know.
Like, why is our society not crumbling without them?
Well, listen, you better be careful what you wish for because I can't see a lot of them lasting here long term. And they're going to come crawling back on their hands and knees when they find out that living here for more than 6 months to a year, it's quite different than living and growing up in North America. So I don't see them lasting long here. I really don't.
Yeah, good. I don't either.
How are they gonna have the courage to admit that they're going back to the country they escaped to find a better life in Nicaragua?
Tail between your legs and off you go, I guess.
You know what's going to be funny is when all those fucking pussies have to come back to Canada to their Facebook accounts and like walk into their parents' house after not seeing them for a year, after getting kicked out of the country because everybody fucking hates them. They're like, can we borrow some money to get started again? And I would say, sure, you're going to have to disavow everything you believe, and I'm happy to help you out. And you're going to have to scrub your fucking Facebook account. And here's the deal. You cannot come within 10 square kilometers of me, but yeah, I'll help you out. Like that's what all of those people are facing. The escapism involved in that community is fucking hilarious. Like you're different because you look for adventure. We've talked about the issues as you've been running away or towards whatever. I mean, you're not there escaping government tyranny. You're there fully vaccinated, going, "What the fuck is going on down here?" Like it's got to be like pre-pandemic when you were in Nicaragua for a few years. This has to be a totally fucking different vibe. Totally.
You couldn't have said it better. Town is packed. It's packed with families, kids running around in every fucking restaurant and bar and store here with no supervision. I don't know. It's definitely different here. There's a lot of people that have been here a long time that are not happy, and they can't wait for them to get the fuck out of here. And they hope they all give up or they fail because, this wasn't what this town was all about, and it has definitely changed. Them all coming here and taking over, they are super rude to the Nicaraguans. That doesn't go over well here. And they also,
you'd think that group would be really kind and courteous and thoughtful of others
and thankful.
That's what the surprising thing is here in this story. This is just holy fuck.
The incredible part is it's all a self-fulfilling prophecy, is it not? Like for every single person. And I said this to someone today who wants to go somewhere and do something. I'm like, when you get there, you'll still be there, dude. Like, you'll still have the same psychopathy. You're still going to be pissed off. You'll just be pissed off in a different place. And it's those people that go, oh, I just need a vacation for like a month. I'm like, okay, well, great. What happens when you get sweaty palms on the 30th day on your way back from your fucking month-long vacation? Because all the same shit is still there. Like each one of these people. And Bonds, you know this from a human standpoint. Each one of those losers, they are losers that decided Canada was too hard on them. Now they're dealing with like bar fights in Nicaragua and people want to kick the living shit out of them just for being the assholes that they were when they were here. That'll follow an asshole around everywhere. This has got nothing to do with Canadians. It's got everything to do with those Canadians just generally being assholes all the time, their entire life anyway.
Yeah, we've talked about this multiple times, but the thing that I recognized early on with this pandemic and the people that sort of gravitated towards this path of people that have escaped Canada in South America with Bonzi in this small town in a third world country
developing
is they were always wired that way. This was just the next thing for them to be bothered by. And we all have friends like this too. Like, it's, if you have somebody in your life, you have to sit them down. Somebody needs to slap them out of the cycle that they're in. And if they're not aware of it, that they won't wake up to it. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people are wasting a lot of really good time on this planet.
Yeah.
There's just some people that get up every morning and they're looking for the first possibility to be angry at something.
Yeah. Can I show you one of those guys? Can I show you one of those guys?
Yeah.
Let me show you one of those guys. Here he is. Randy Hillier. That's the guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
Wakes up every morning, thinks the world's got it out for him, thinks that the world is going to hell in a handbasket because he's just an old crazy fuck. And he didn't go to Nicaragua because he seems to think he knows better than everybody else here, but it's coming for him to the point where, and we'll share this with you. He is so mad at us. Like he called the police. He called the cops on us for having Randy Hillier is a Russian asset trend for a couple solid weeks. And Randy Hillier is a piece of shit trend. And Randy Hillier should be arrested.
Did we start that? Yeah, arrest Randy Hillier was my favorite.
Yeah, but because
he went number one in Canada.
They all did
number one.
Yeah, and he shit posted us and I said, dude, I'm gonna make your life miserable for weeks. That is exactly what we did. And because he's like one of those people, Monzi, he's soft as fuck, like just the softest people in the world. I'm not wearing a mask, and I'm gonna fucking huff and puff until everybody's afraid of me, so I don't have to. What he's really saying, and what those people in Nicaragua are saying, is that we're huge pussies, so we gotta leave. Like,
Well,
sorry.
yeah, there's people that are here that because they left Canada, came here because there's no vaccine rules and stuff. You do, like I said, still have to wear masks in some places, banks, grocery stores. One guy got so upset that he was told to put a mask on and stuff, freaked out, had a complete meltdown in the store, and actually kicked the glass door in, and then took off. Like, they're just
Canadian?
I don't know.
Is that a local or an expat?
No, it was a Canadian who was down here and refused to wear a mask inside one of the very, very few establishments that you have to wear a mask.
How does it make you feel, Locke, that Edmonton you don't have to wear, or sorry, in Alberta you don't have to wear a mask, but in Nicaragua you do?
Oh, you do in Edmonton.
Not for long.
Edmonton kept the rule.
Yeah, but Kenny said he's
Edmonton-
going to strike that down. He said he's going to force every municipality to adopt the unsafe way to do
It's
it.
as I phrase it, as it's Kenny's own Emergencies Act.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But
the interesting thing is, like, it's Edmonton, but I'm in St. Albert, so I don't actually have to wear a mask. They did hang on to a couple of rules. Just to be clear, in case anybody is listening that's hearing this, that's here, you have to wear a mask in some government buildings, Army Chris. Like some federal buildings, you still have to wear a mask.
Yeah,
even outside of Edmonton.
So
And-
all federal buildings would fall under whatever the federal regulation is. So provincial rules do not apply.
And then buses, any public transportation. There has been a call, like this is kind of a bubbling underneath thing, that we should continue to wear masks in hospitals and doctors' offices, which I am not adverse to that. I'm not against that.
Dude, how many doctor's offices have I gone into where everybody was sick and I was in the waiting room waiting to see the doctor and I sat there like that anyway? Like, fuck, dude, that's just smart business. You're not
Now,
an idiot
that
if you
being
do
said,
that.
in all seriousness, Friday night meat draws at the Legion are still in question. I can get back to everybody on that later.
You don't want to miss the meat draw at the old Legion.
Bonds. You also encountered a couple of these or in your toilet. Is this you don't like to looking at that, do you?
No.
Here's a question. I know you're not soft because you didn't go down there to escape the government, and you're fucking deathly afraid of these things. You won't even look at the screen. Snakes. You're deathly afraid of them, and that fucking country's rammed with them. So what are you doing?
Well, it's one of those things where I just hope I never have to see them. Thank God this is not in my bathroom. It's at a friend's house. They live out in more of the jungle. I'm right in town. And that sort of thing's going to happen. She just messaged me actually right before the show, and they're pretty sure that snake is a pit viper.
You can't look at it, eh?
That they found in their bathroom. She couldn't even. Luckily, she didn't go in there. It was her husband that found it, and he's a brave motherfucker. He got it out of there. Now he was scared to death. He admitted, but I mean, you wouldn't even see my ass would be out of that house so fast you wouldn't even see me. There'd be no helping her. So. Yeah,
look at your face. Look at your face when you look at this. You have to look away, and it's not just in the shitters in Nicaragua. You ran this one over and wouldn't even get out of the van to look at it. You're that scared of snakes.
Yep. Listen, I can see it for a quick second because I even had to send them to you and stuff, but I can't sit there and stare at it. It just puts the fear of God in me, and then if I stare for any more than 5 seconds, I'm gonna have nightmares about them,
right,
and it's just not cool.
It's gone, dude.
You need another ayahuasca trip to get rid of that.
I do. Actually, I just talked to my therapist about that the other day. I said I would love to do ayahuasca while I'm here, but sadly, the shaman's gone. No, the shaman's gone that was doing it here.
Died of ayahuasca poisoning?
No, he went back to England.
What's this? What's this on your wall? That is a fucking massive spider.
It is. And it's not even, it's a pretty big one, but they get bigger. That's a claw spider. They can bite. But they are absolutely terrified of you more than we're terrified of them. And I know that sounds
are you
silly.
even there?
Okay, whoa, hang on a second. How do you actually know that?
No, well, I just from what.
How do you know that spider is more scared of you?
Well,
he talks to the locals, Chris.
Yeah,
It's called intel. It's called insect intel.
Okay,
he got a sit rep from an entomologist. That's what he got.
I've seen spiders that big down in St. Lucia, and I automatically assumed I'm more scared of that fucking spider than it is of me. And then I left first.
It's amazing. I can sit in the same room with that spider, and I've seen. That's not the only one I've seen. There's been quite a few big claw spiders, and they don't freak me out as anywhere near as like a snake. Even if the snake was this big, I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Like I saw the one swimming in the ocean the other day. I'm not going anywhere near that fucking ocean anymore while I'm here because I saw a poisonous snake swimming in it, not too far from where people swim. So not happening for me.
Yeah,
anyway.
oh boy, that's smart. I wouldn't do it either, just out of principle. But I'm one of those guys that, like, if I hate snakes, I'm not going to a country where they have a national snake. Like,
but it's one of those things where, and this is another crazy thing. I'm doing this week. I'm going on a motorbike trip over to this island with 2 volcanoes, and we're climbing one of the volcanoes up to this really cool waterfall.
Totally
and
makes sense.
It's in the dead of the jungle. I've done it twice. There is snakes. There are huge spiders there as well. There's wasps. It's a pretty cool hike.
Didn't you almost die getting bit by one of those wasps a few years ago too, and you're going back into the mouth of the beast? Smart.
Yes, I am. Listen, you can't live in fear.
Scared?
You got to go out and explore this stuff.
Are these active volcanoes?
Yes, they are. Both of them.
Oh,
There's
dude, you gotta get
Volcano
some lava,
Concepcion and
bro.
Volcano Messiah.
Get some lava pics.
I've got 4 EpiPens, so I think we should be safe. I'm bringing a knife, and we're going on this amazing motorbike trip. It's going to be awesome.
You know you're getting old and your body's fucked when you have to bring 4 different types of medicine with you when you go on a day trip.
Well, they're expired, right? So if I have 4, one of them's got to work, right?
Yeah, it's smart.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
If you're going to go to an active volcano, here's what I suggest: 4 expired EpiPens and a knife. Good to know.
Watch, he'll be there with flip-flops too.
I want to get back to Randy Hillier because this came to my attention today. Everybody knows who Randy Hillier is, right? MP from Kingston Frontenac, who's been threatening people with, like, really threatening tweets. He's been calling people Nazis and terrorists. He's been trying to talk about taking the government down. He was a huge portion of the Freedom Convoy, forced people to call 911 to make those emergency services busy during that week in Ottawa. He was one of the ringleaders. He's an absolute piece of shit and total raging Christo-fascist, like just a piece of human garbage. He's been kicked out of the legislature here. He's been basically sent off to the... People can't want to get rid of this guy fast enough. Anyway, so he's been, like, terrorizing people with this bullshit for, like, fucking months and months and months, maybe even years, because he's gone off the deep end, and he's literally one of those crazy fucking lunatics that we hate here and everybody fucking hates here, who's got this weird Jesus understanding of reality that doesn't exist. So I got a tweet today, and I'm like, can't be true. And then I got a direct message from someone with the police force. I don't want to say which one. They're like, hey, you're not going to fucking love this. And then I got this. And it all checks out. Oh, no, wrong tweet. My bad. All checks out. This is from Don Simpson. Get this. Randy Hillier's complained to the Ontario Provincial Police about being satirized on social media. He calls it criminal. Like asking followers to swamp 911 lines, Randy, like that. So I could. It is the softest, most cowardly fucking thing to do. This guy terrorized people for years online, telling them their existence was bullshit. Don't get vaccinated. It's going to kill you. This country's like fucking Nazi Germany. Posting pictures of Hitler, comparing Hitler to Trudeau.
He
still
didn't call
does.
a lawyer.
And he didn't know. What he did was
called the police.
He called the police because he's so tired of Randy Hillier is a Russian asset trending, and Randy Hillier should be arrested trending, and we started those. He is so mad at us. He called the police to see if they could look into us. So what I did is I put this tweet out. Randy called the police because of this article. Article is the one where Ryan wrote it, actually. Sitting member of Ontario Provincial Parliament invites people to fight him. He asked some guy to call the guy a dickhead and said, come up to Landmark, basically where he lives because he wanted to fight. And I said, it'd be a shame if everyone RT'd this all day. It's now our biggest post ever because people fucking hate him that much. But
didn't he threaten Ryan too?
Oh, yeah, dude, he's threatened everybody. He's just Mr. Threats.
He's an MP.
Dean, what
Yeah.
were the signatures on that previous picture? Because that looked like Russian 152 millimeter ammunition to me.
Those are actually Jewish tank shells, I've been told. They're stock photos from that he pulled off of this is during Ottawa, right? Gas tanks, lead freedom ring. Here's some gas.
That's artillery ammo, man.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So not only is he still on Twitter, but he actually,
like,
which is
why?
fucking
I don't
hilarious.
understand that. Like,
He protected his tweets and as well. Like, just fucking pussy coward move after coward move.
why would they let him get away with that? Like, if I did anything remotely like that, the police would be at my door in 7 minutes. No,
Yeah, I'd think so.
like, I'm asking. I don't know. Like, if I made a threat like that, like, that's not subtle. Is it that's showing gas cans and artillery shells, a bomb, and saying something about freedom? You don't think that the RCs would be at my door in about 3 minutes?
Oh, they are. So the other thing I found out, and this is just for our audience, is that he is being investigated provincially and he's being investigated federally. And
Okay.
he is in a fucking world.
But
of trouble.
that tweet.
Well, I'm with Locke. I was going to ask, like, how long can you carry on representing, as a member of parliament, in your constituent or whatever he is, to be allowed to be able to post shit like this? Like, good God, that's insane. It's absolutely.
Has there been
insane.
an attempt to get him removed? I know that the Conservative Party, the PCs in Ontario, removed him, right?
Yeah.
So he is acting as an independent right now.
Yeah. He is acting as an independent, and he's been asked to apologize to people for scaring the shit out of the people he works with. There's a couple times he said he was going to bust into the House of Commons. Remember that? He was going to lead the charge, and he was going to die on the Hill. This was something he was going to die for. Like, absolutely heavily involved in the fucking flu trucks Klan convoy. Absolutely. And then when people start fighting him, which is classic bully shit, right, Chris? When the bully gets punched in the mouth by a group of fucking young folks like us, we're young, we're go-getters, and we don't give two fucks about Randy Hillier. When you punch him in the mouth, he takes his ball, calls the police, and fucking protects his tweets.
That's right. That's exactly what he does. He's going to try to bend the system and find legal loopholes to come back and go, oh, look at this. When that's not the reality. It's called a deflection tactic, and utilizing with arbitrary half-assed information to defend your platform. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. And all it is the softest, and I say it all the time, but I go back to the people, the refugees in Nicaragua. I go back to Randy Hillier and every single person, which is why, Locke, when you're like, why do you give it to these guys? It's because what we're seeing and the bluster and the anger and the fucking pictures of tank shells and the threats and the gas and all that stuff, all that is him saying, I'm a scared drunk and I'm about to lose my livelihood, this cushy job, and I'm fucked in the head because I'm on Team Jesus. So I'm going out in a blaze of glory. Like, that's what he's doing. And when it got a little fucking pinchy for him, like when people actually said, hang on, dickhead, let's talk about this and let's give you what you've been giving other people, which we've been doing for the past 2 weeks. And I tweeted, I said, I promise, Randy, I remember, you guys remember this? I promise I'm going to make this fucking hurt. And now he called the police. Pussy. The Hilliers, entire family.
You know what?
Bullies.
You bring up
exactly what you said. That's exactly what you said. I think it was, a week ago?
Yeah.
You said, I'm going to make it hurt.
It was a couple of weeks ago. It was during the convoy.
A couple of weeks ago? It might have been.
Yeah.
A lot of shit's been going on, but I remember you calling him out, and he's fucking being a little bitch. So,
well, it's interesting because I've seen a lot of this and I just sort of attributed it to, the times we're in, and we're all stressed out. But I think what happens for a lot of these social media bullies is they don't realize they don't get
people don't tag them back. People don't tag them back.
They don't understand how they're pushing other people's buttons. And then when they get attacked, they freak out. They don't know how to respond to it.
My question is, who does he work for? Who's his boss?
No, himself.
He's an MP.
Nobody. Well,
For the provincials.
typically his constituents are supposed to be his bosses, but you remember when he was railing against vaccines, saying,
I guess
Hitler invented these. Yeah, his constituents are the boss, but he left them in the dust with his fucking weird QAnon Jesus conspiracy theories.
So I guess my question for you guys, because I'm not as politically savvy as I should be, who can take him out of play?
They have to vote him out in what is it called? It's
by-election. Well, we got the election coming up. He's going to get voted out. I mean, they're just kind of running out the clock.
It's a long, drawn out process.
But you know what I think takes him out in the end? Cirrhosis of the liver.
Or that might get him first.
How many guns and stuff do you think he has?
You and me should go drinking with this guy for the weekend, and we'll take him off the grid.
That guy, all he does is post pictures of his hunt cabin, him working on it, him planning on moving into the woods, surviving off canned goods, never going to the liquor store, never making moonshine. Yeah, total fucking weirdo. Like absolute.
Can you put up his picture again from his profile?
What about that one? What about the one with him and Max? Please, Randy, I told you, not here. Wait till we get back to my hotel room. The longing in his eye. Do you want that one, or do you want the one of him dressed in Nikolai Volkov's outfit?
He just fits the look of adult. And one of those people like of his type. He looks like his type should look. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like a douche.
We had him on the podcast, and he is he's balls deep, hey? Like he's not letting up.
No,
he is so entrenched in that mindset.
You know, when we interviewed him, I thought
were poking him. We were just sort of prodding him with the information, like trying to get him to spout the misinformation. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm fascinated by this group, because a lot, not all of them, not everybody that believes that rhetoric that has sort of succumbed to that narrative during COVID is the guy that goes online and fights with all their family members. And, I saw it a lot with the Trump group, right? They're not all like Randy Hillier, but they do not understand. They're in constant conflict, but they can't handle conflict. It's bizarre.
Yeah, when someone brings conflict to them, they block, protect their tweets, and then call the police. You know what that is? That's called being a coward.
They go batshit crazy
because they can't control it.
You would think that somebody that spends a good bulk of his day in constant conflict would be able to deal with some of it coming back, but they can't.
None of them.
They have no ability to.
Did you ever confront, like, dude, you watch that video that Bonzi brought in from the dude in the bar, the refugee that doesn't want to be called a refugee, and everybody in Nicaragua was like, go hide, refugee, go hide. I love that, by the way. Yeah. The reason why they're there is because they are conflicted and cannot deal with conflict, because they hate the world and they don't want to fight. And when they do fight, they get told they're losers, which they are. So they think they can go and hide somewhere else. But again, it follows them around.
They think they're displaced patriots.
Yeah.
The other thing that I found interesting about the Hillier thing, because we kind of talked about it behind the scenes before he came on the podcast. And we had, like, none of us agree with this tool. He wasn't off the fucking, like, reservation like he is now. Like, he is completely out to lunch now.
Yeah.
And he was still sort of in an area of, okay, yeah, he's nuts, and look at his tweets, and yeah, he's getting there. And we didn't want to be like overly aggressive with him and confrontational on the podcast. We wanted to make him feel comfortable. That was sort of the plan, but there was a underlying message between all of us that we were going to get our point across to him and see how he reacted. And he deflected every attempt we had to sort of weasel our way into a conversation.
Yeah, he was actually pretty cool about it. Like, he was like, no, this is what I think. And he'd give you a little bit, and then he'd take more. Yeah, he was. But now he's like, fuck you.
Well, me and my buddy Dave will take him drinking for a week, and he'll be off social media for 3. Trust me. It's called libation interdiction.
libation interdiction. I think he's on that plan right now. I don't think he's on the consumption time curve plan that you have. I think he goes hard until he blacks out, gets up, and
That's
does
the
it
whole
again.
point, man. We'll follow the consumption of time curve, and old Randy, he'll need a little time off.
I honestly, I don't know anybody on the planet that would be able to keep up with Army Chris and Dave.
No. Dave's worse. Can Dave drink more?
Dave has Ryan Fruit Loops for breakfast. Literally, he did that one.
I spent a night with those two, and I can attest to this statement.
They go hard?
They can go, dude. Like, it's nuts. Out comes the moonshine, out comes the rye, out comes this shot. Like, and they've already been drinking beers. They came home from drinking all day and then started drinking. You know what I mean? The real drinking began.
There's a gear they both get into, but then there's like, okay, we're going to Vegas gear, or I got to be at work on Monday morning gear.
Going to Mexico for the week gear.
Or I'm going to the Mexico for a week gear. Yeah. And Dave doesn't sleep. He doesn't, like, you know what I mean? He doesn't shut it down, and they go. Yeah.
Yeah. Randy's like that. Randy, dude, I don't know if his drinking is legendary. Like, we were in the middle of an interview with him, and he was chain smoking cigarettes. And then one of us, like 5 minutes into the interview, he's like, we're like, someone mentioned going for a beer, and he was like this. Oh, fuck, I could use a beer right now. Fuck, oh, my God.
I'm going to tweet him later.
8 times.
Yeah.
8 times. Anyway, that's Randy Hillier, which is funny because I thought he was having fun with it, right? When we fucking tagged him as a Russian asset, he was like, I love finding out from Twitter that I'm a Russian asset. Apparently that's based. And then he put a picture of him in front of it. But dude's been all over RT. The dude has been sat for interviews with Russian news agencies that are now literally debunked, that are now like not even allowed to be on the air here. And he's still talking to them. Like, he's still doing it in a war. He's talking to people that are attacking Ukrainians because he's a fucking loser. That's what he is. And that's
when he was on your pod, I thought, okay, this guy's, he can take it lightly, and guys can have engaging conversation from opposing viewpoints.
Wouldn't happen now.
No. And then he fucked off the.
He was way more civil with us than Chris Sky.
Oh yeah.
When we had Chris Sky on, Chris, we did very little to antagonize him, and he went sideways a couple of times, and then we had to reel him back in, right? Like, there was that sort of give and take with Chris Sky that wasn't there with Randy. The thing that I was questioning the entire time he was on was whether or not he believed his own bullshit. That's the thing that I thought that I agree with Dean. I got the sense he was only on once, right? Or was he on twice?
Once.
He was on once. I got the sense that this was an act, that it wasn't, that he was playing a role and was delivering a message that he knew appealed to a certain segment of the population because he wanted that vote.
You thought he was just kind of putting it on, dude. He's 100% real. Like, he was, you know what? A lot of those people, and we've seen this over the past couple of years, haven't we? All those people that we all knew that were like that, they've outed themselves, and now that, like, and it's what everybody does when they're cornered rats, right? When you cannot control your situation around you, which he's always had the privilege to be able to control. Now someone's removing his privilege, and he's laid waste, and he's naked, and he's like, "Well, fuck the world, then I'm gonna get what I want." That's everybody. That's all these people.
Are you gonna try and get him back on?
No, that wasn't.
Well, James tried, but sorry. Yeah, he said no. Well, actually called me a cocksucker, to be honest with you. Yeah. What were you going to ask me?
Did you see James's comment where he just called him and asked to do an interview, and he said, "Do you still work for Dean?" And James said, "Yes." He said, "You can fuck off until then."
Yeah.
There you go.
I just called Randy. James says, I asked if he was working with Dean. I said, yes. He said, well, fuck off until you don't. Not kidding.
Yeah.
Well, Randy doesn't like you anymore.
Hey, everybody. Yeah. Can you do, if you're watching this, can you send a screenshot of this to Randy? Hang on just 1 second. Let me ISO. Hi, Randy. Hi. I'm not done. I'm just getting warmed up. Hi, Randy. Hi. Hi, guy. Hi, here I am. Here I am over here. Hi, guy. Anyway, just wanted to do that for fun. One of the things that has been really wild to experience too during this whole thing, and I want to switch gears, is like having a guy like Army Chris. He's got a podcast called Fire for Effect. It's a great podcast. He talks about veteran stuff. A lot of the things that he's been talking about, obviously directed
Mental
at
health
Ukraine.
come up.
Mental health has come up.
You talk
He's
about
like,
anything.
whatever. Yeah. But I wanted to break down what's going on in Ukraine. What are we, day 7 now? We're day 7 of the invasion.
Yeah.
And we've seen some significant developments. I know Russia and Ukraine have talked once. I know they were speaking today. Last week, you and I and Locke kind of went on, or sorry, the last time you were on the show, which I think is Monday, we were talking about the B team. We were talking about what we'd seen so far in Ukraine. We'd seen, I believe the number is closer to 7,000 dead Russian troops now. 7,000. We've seen the destruction of a whole bunch of their lines. They're not making as much time. What was supposed to take 2 days is now apparently going to take 12 to 15 weeks, they said, but they will stay in Ukraine. What are you seeing with warfare? Because the stories that are coming out of Russia and Ukraine, very different, but they all kind of come back into the same thing when you go to trusted sources. That's Ukrainian people are doing a fucking incredible job defending their people and their land, that they're getting a ton of support from NATO, and new equipment is arriving. And the one thing that I find fascinating is the demoralized, and the story that came out yesterday, the Pentagon, they said that the troops, Russian troops, are so fucking demoralized by how this has started, and they've been lied to, and so many people have died, and so many of their comrades are now finding out that this is not a peacekeeping mission, that they're there to kill their neighbors, and they're walking away from their troops literally in droves, dropping their guns, apologizing, and walking away. Are you hearing the same thing? And would you, like, do you still feel like there are the more deadly aspects of that army to come, or do you think this is that 3 dressed as a 9 as we talked about?
I'll tell you what I've been doing. Again, media is arbitrary. We all know that. We
Right.
shit on it all the fucking time on this pod and my own and everybody else's. So I don't trust what I'm seeing. So I'm trying to analyze and pick out bits and pieces. Do you have that video that you posted today, that guy talking to his mom?
I sure do. Yeah. This is from,
Let's use that
I believe,
as the opener.
Yeah, let's do it. This is from Kharkiv.
Yeah,
Kharkiv is the second biggest city.
If you guys haven't seen this that are watching this,
I
this
haven't
is
seen it.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Watch this. And as a young man who just was allowed to call his mom after being captured by Ukrainian troops.
Hello, mom, привет.
He says, "Hello, Mom.
Привет, моя Дия.
Do you recognize me?" Can't understand what she's saying. He says, "I'm on Ukrainian territory as a prisoner of war, but I am fine." Mom's like, "What?" He's like, "I'm on Ukrainian territory as a prisoner of war." She's like, "What do you mean prisoner?" He says, "Well, this is what I wanted to explain." She's like, "Explain this to me." "Mom, please listen to me carefully. They are treating me fine," he says. "Don't worry about me. They are treating me fine. Don't you worry."
Послушай меня, пожалуйста, внимательно. Со мной хорошо обращаются, не переживай за меня. Со мной хорошо обращаются, за меня не переживай.
Don't worry. You need to contact my unit. Write this down. I'll write down the unit number, but what do I say? Mom asks. Tell them that this certain prisoner got captured, he says. They told us we were going in as peacekeepers, he tells his mom, to the DNR and the LNR territory. But in fact, there's a war, meaning we're the aggressor, he says. Cities are being bombed hard. Please be aware of this and spread the word if you can, he tells his mom. How can this be why they won't let you go, the mother asks. Mom, I'm a prisoner. I came here as the aggressor. How can they let me go? Crying, what territory of Ukraine? What city are you in? The mom says. Like, that's every Russian
Heavy.
soldier, and I've got 10 more videos like it in queue.
Absolutely mind-boggling to me. And so to get back to your question, Dean, that is indicative to me of a B team player. There is no modern military, especially the level of conviction that the Russian military is putting into this, where the guys on the ground do not know the mission. It's fucking absurd to think that. And again, for everybody watching and listening, this is merely my opinion based on my experience. I find it hard to believe that guy doesn't know what his job was, that doesn't know he's not on an offensive operation, because you're given orders in advance of the op, so he knows what he's doing when he's on the ground. It's preposterous to believe that. So I still believe what you're still seeing with these guys are B team guys. And then I'm looking at what's slowly been escalating over the last 48 hours with intensified artillery. And I said last week that Russia uses more artillery than anybody. I've also been carefully analyzing imagery rather than reading the narrative to see the equipment, understanding the equipment complement of the Russian army as I know it. Am I seeing tier 1 equipment being blown up and burned on the side of the road? Not really. I'm seeing kind of mid-grade shit. We haven't seen T-80s and T-90s yet. We're seeing T-72s, upgraded T-72s. And that's indicative of the year, roughly. Like the T-72 tank is fucking ancient, although it's been upgraded. So what are they going to give the B team? They're going to give them kind of the shitty shit to go in and like, okay, if it gets whacked, fuck whatever. We're saving the good stuff for later. We haven't seen thermobaric bombs yet. We haven't seen the good stuff yet. We've got this massive convoy that's 60 miles long rolling down the road. And I'm very nervous as to why there hasn't been a response to that. But I still think these guys that are surrendering and that the whole Tinder thing, I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but these Russian soldiers are like on fucking
trying to pick
Tinder,
up chicks, Ukrainian chicks.
And the Ukrainian chicks are taking that back and using his intelligence against them to say, this guy's here, this guy's here, this guy's here, which I think is great. That just tells me that these are fucking B team players. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is an actual cross section of the Russian military and they suck that bad. And if they do, Putin, who's already overextended, because I'm sure he logistically planned this thing to wrap up in 3 days, and now we're on day 7. And when you look at the map, and I'll discuss this tonight on my show, he's not making the gains that he thought.
Yeah. Well, and I want to look at that map too. We've got a little skewer of it. The map. This is Ukraine.
That's
the
the one.
red parts are Russian held. Obviously, you can see all around the Ukraine where parts of Russian troops have, like Crimea. They own the eastern part of the country.
So they took over Crimea in the 2014 occupation.
Yeah,
correct. It was annexed.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they just walked in and said, "This is ours now."
But there was already a strong communist or Russian government in that region, wasn't there, Army Chris?
There was some like I know what you're talking about. There were some Ukrainian people of Ukrainian Russian descent that would have been totally cool, but they did the same thing in Crimea and in the eastern part of that country where they're like, these people want us to come in, and none of them really did. They're just like, fuck, I guess. And they've been and all the people that didn't want to be part of that Russian territory went over to the Ukrainian territory, and they've been fighting that war for what is it? Since 2014, right? They've been shooting at each other.
Yeah, but that history goes way back in time. I mean, you need to look at the collective history. When you look at the eastern edge of the Ukraine and you look at the Crimea, those, they speak Russian. They identify themselves as part of a greater Russian empire or whatever. But that is not an accurate cross-section of all of what the Ukraine is. So it was easy. The Western world didn't give a fuck about the whole Crimea thing. They said, okay, I kind of get that.
My understanding is, and again, I am not educated in this at all. My understanding was there was at least a toehold politically for Russia to establish some control over that region. Whether or not everybody in that region bought into that annexation. So somebody is already James is already weighing in.
Yeah, James.
Whether anybody was the difference, I think, between taking over Crimea and the Ukraine is they don't have any political control over that region. So they
But here-
have to take it
but here-
over, and they have to actually like aggressively hold it with the army.
But that's the thing. Here's the thing. There are definitely portions of the Ukraine, Crimea being a good example, that probably maybe should be part of Russia. So if instead of a war, maybe we could have had those conversations between Putin, cheese curd as I call him, in the West, and did it in a different way. The problem for him is it's not really enough. Those little pockets that are identify as Russian, if you will, and I apologize if I'm speaking on a turn for the people in that country. It's a perception. It's not. It doesn't give him the buffer that he's looking for. So he's using that as a foothold, and then he's spreading propaganda to expand fucking west from those areas, right? So look at those red zones that he's already owned. Easy to take. They already identify as Russian, little resistance. But he's looking at that strategically going, it's not quite enough. I need to kind of push in. So I'll say I'm here to liberate people. We're on a peace support operation. He's spreading propaganda. You go back to that kid's mom in that video who didn't even know her son was that Russia's at war. That tells you what a stranglehold, that Russia has
over the press
on its media. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting because in order for him to actually take over the Ukraine, he's going to have to occupy it.
Well, he's a long ways away. I'll tell you right now, here's some statistics for all you kids out there. And the defender always has the advantage. I think in some, there's probably Army guys watching this, and it's been a while. It's about 3-to-1 minimum. So if there's one guy that's dug in a defensive position, I need 3 guys minimum to take that guy. So if it's 100,000 Ukrainians dug in within that country, I need fucking 300,000 guys to seize and control that minimum. So
and the way this is panning out, I mean, you're going to have fucking grandmothers are literally strapping on AKs.
Yeah, dude. One of the things I read today was that if Russia does take Ukraine, it'll be a 20-year war.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
And we haven't even factored in. This is conventional warfare. I'm going to talk about a bunch of other shit tonight. I'm not going to bog down you with that.
You got a podcast tonight, Fire for Effect tonight?
I do, and we're going to get into the International Liberation for Territorial Defense of Ukraine Brigade, all the international support, Canada's involvement.
I heard that number's up to like 11,000 people.
It's getting big. Now it's a coordination effort, but it's I'm going to use the resistance. I'm not going to use insurgency anymore. It's the wrong term. Sorry, that's legacy shit from Afghanistan.
No worries.
The resistance effort coupled with the Western world's equipment support, and I know, Dean, you want to get into offensive versus defensive, but this is where it's a good segue for that, is going to seriously, Putin never factored that in. Literally what he thought in his plans and his general staff, who's subservient to his lack of military fucking knowledge, said, okay, yeah, we're going to wrap this bitch up in 3 days. Wrong. You're on day 7 and that's your fucking gains. Those are gains they already had. But if you look at that map, you can see the knife pointing down at Kiev. That's what he wants. All those bullshit pockets in the south and the southeast, whatever. Same as that red dot up there. Sorry, I'm pointing my mouse at this like everybody can see it. It's that drive towards Kiev, because now his Hail Mary is, well, if I seize Kiev, I own the country. No, you fucking don't. If you seize Kiev now, they'll encircle you because you have one supply line going in. Look at that map. He's got one route in, one route out. I know how I'd manage that route, which I'm surprised they haven't already, but that's a separate conversation. So
you see the two red dots at the top of the map. One looks like a foot, and the other one looks like a cock. What's the cock dot? What's the cock dot there? Is that a missile? Looks like a penis.
That's probably a missile.
All right.
So I really got a question. I don't want to fucking take it away, but I'm going to ask later on. Why are we not putting the fucking heat on Belarus right now?
I think they are. I think that was one of the
They
things that
are.
they started to do, and they started to build
That's
troops up at the border of Belarus, NATO
Yeah.
troops. So yeah, I think that's
Right,
one
like
of the things because
the Western world should be putting the hammer on them, going, "You fuckers really want to back that pony?" Because I'll tell you how that ends for you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you guys right now, there is no scenario that ends well for Putin in this. And if he lets his megalomaniac ego and failure to concede get in the way, you bet your fucking ass we're going into World War III and it's nuclear.
want to bring this up real quick. Special Operations Unit. This is on the map. Ukraine is now warning Russian artillerymen after attacks on civilian populations. 2,000 Ukrainian civilians have died already, by the way, according to Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. Says no longer we're not taking any more POWs. And I want to get to a couple of those videos. Speaking of those POWs, again, this is another video that came out. This is a Russian soldier being given food and being allowed to call his mother. If you can see this, he's being given a sandwich. Looks like PB&J. He's sucking back that tea. They got what appears to be a turkey pot pie for him as well. I mean, the Ukrainian people are the nicest fucking warlords on the planet. I mean, and they're not warlords. These guys are fucking warriors. Like they're feeding the people as they catch them and saying, "Hey, do you want to call your mom? Let her know."
But you know what? That's
okay.
entirely the PSYOPs campaign. He's offering what is he offering? $50,000 US equivalent.
$50,000 per soldier if you switch, and apparently they're like sabotaging their own tanks and their own gas tanks, and
that might be what's happening with the convoy, right?
And to be honest, to segue to that, I would be cautious if I was Facebook or Twitter how much pressure or how much what's the word I'm looking for?
Censorship
you put, because you need that information to get fed back to the Russian populace to show that those guys are being treated well.
The misinformation is more.
I don't know, but I'd rather
shut it down. I'd rather fucking shut it down.
Look at him, fucking dude's bawling into his tea right now, talking to his mom, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck, dude, just call your mom. It's okay. We'll wait." Your mom. But each one of these guys, something like 2 soldiers have already said, "Yeah, I'll take the 50 grand. Let's go. At least you guys will feed us."
To Lachlan's point, where you go back to that kid that's on the phone, "Hey, mom, by the way, I'm a POW," so that's fucking going well. And she doesn't even know what's going on. How do you make it so that woman in Babushka, Russia, up north,
she doesn't have Facebook? You're not reaching her anyway, right?
How do you I know, but she knows her sister's aunt's niece is on Twitter and is on Facebook. You need to reach the younger generation and then feed it to the older generation and show them this is what's going on. Like Jimmy has to show you how to work your phone every day. It's the same fucking thing.
You know what, though?
So I would reach out to Jimmy and he would say, "Here, Lachlan, this is what's going on."
What happens to those soldiers, Chris? The ones that are captured eventually?
Well, now they're just going to get shot. I mean, Ukraine is.
No, they've been asked. A lot of them have been given weapons and Ukrainian uniforms.
No,
and
those guys
grand.
are flip sides, or they will be
used as human shields.
No, they'll be moved to the rear in the west.
Yeah,
they'll create. I don't want to use the word concentration camp and internment camps.
I'm not suggesting
will they be allowed to go home?
Going to get shot. I'm saying they're not going to catch any more anymore.
Sure.
They're not going to catch any of these kids anymore. The Ukraine is at a point now where they're shutting the door.
The A team's coming in, man.
Yeah.
There's
too many people are dying in the Ukraine right now. Yeah. I think there's going to be an all-out bloody war. I did hear this morning.
There's no way they're going to shoot them. Okay, that was
not the prisoners. I'm saying they're not going to take any more prisoners.
Well, what are they going to do with them?
They're just it's going to be a fight now. There's not going to be any. It's going to be, if you got a gun and you're here for the other side, it's going to be a battle. I think the Ukraine is sending a strong message to the Russians now.
When 100 guys surrender, you're not going to shoot them. That shit reaches the media. You turn the Ukraine soldiers into what the Russians are. There's no.
But I don't know if we're going to be at that point. If you're right about the B team, I think the battle is escalating. They're bombing the shit out of Ukraine right now.
Yeah, let me get to some of those videos real quick because, Chris, I got some questions to ask you about some of the munitions that are being involved. This is Kharkiv city center. I believe this is the Kharkiv police station being hit by, and there's two versions of this video. There's one that was taken from across the street, and a dude that was like standing right in front of the bill, and they're both fucking unbelievable to watch. But what are we watching here? Describe this. Like, what kind of bomb does that? Because that was one bomb.
That would
like
be,
literally decimated one building.
That's an airstrike, right?
Yeah.
That feels like artillery. Doesn't feel like a missile. It's like I can't tell. I need to see the whole thing, and the color of the smoke indicates what type of thing it was. But you're looking at, fuck, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
I mean, that's fucking heavy.
It's either air to surface missile.
The video that I saw, Dean, of that explosion was there was a plane that flew over it, and then there was that explosion.
That makes more sense to me.
They're tying the fighter jets or whatever, dropping bombs on them.
Well, this is the dude that was standing literally in front of the building. It's one of the more fucking incredible videos you'll ever see. That's not that graphic, but you can hear it. Maybe you can hear sounds, Chris, and you can identify what those sounds are, but have a listen. Watch this. Fucking weird.
Yeah.
That is 100% fast air.
What is it?
Fast air. So that's MiG-29s, MiG-27s, or sorry, Su-27s, dropping air-to-surface missiles.
And I did hear somebody commenting about the convoy, because that's come up. A lot of people are going, we know where the convoy is. You're showing us pictures. It's
that's
on
an
CNN.
anomaly to me. That's a huge anomaly to me. It really is.
Why
It's
aren't they
60,
going
so it's
after?
60-mile long convoy from Belarus. Like, I think it's 15 miles away from Kyiv, and it's been sitting there for days. One of the things that I heard is that they don't have any gas. They're just lining all this shit up, and they're hopefully going to gas everybody up as they go.
We
But
talked
they're out
about this yesterday. I mean, so I could give you two perspectives on that. And again, they're educated guesses.
Yeah.
It is let them come in as far as they can to minimize the chance of resupply. But that's a gamble, because you need to know when to hit them. That assumes you know how to hit them. Now, I know that the Ukraine military has an aircraft called the Su-25, which is a Russian plane, right? And it's their equivalent of the A-10 attack aircraft, which is, you guys all seen the A-10 Warthog, right?
Mm-hmm.
That big fucking thing that is designed to do one thing, and that's kill armor. So it is an air-to-surface attack aircraft equivalent to the A-10, and they have that. So if they have that and they're not using it, I don't know why. So what they need to be doing is monitoring that convoy, finding off the choke points, use mine warfare, blow up bridges, hit it with artillery on the front and back, because the front of that will be equipped with anti-mine stuff. Like, there'll be tanks with mine flails on it to blow up mines so they can continue the advance. The middle will be the resupply of fuel and food, and the back will be more security. So you hit it on each end with artillery to immobilize it, and then you send in fast air, which would be these Su-25s or whatever, to fucking strafe it. And it feels like they're just letting them advance, and I'm really confused as to why that would be.
I heard a theory about that this morning again, because that's a question that's come up. Why aren't they attacked? Why isn't the Ukraine attacking? It's they know that that Russia is superior in the air to them. They don't want to get into a fight in the air right now. Is the theory that I heard?
Yes, and that's fair. So that convoy, in my brain, doctrinally will be protected by attack helicopters.
Yeah.
Okay, on the low ground for ground. And they'd also have air sorties continuously flying till their fuel runs out and they get changed out.
What's a sortie?
It's a group of aircraft flying a pattern, right?
Oh, okay.
So what the Ukraine forces should be doing is, that's where these fucking Stinger missiles would come in handy, Mr. Biden or whoever. Get them out there, but you need to take out the enemy aircraft first to allow your air assets to come in uninterdicted to be able to attack that ground target. So that makes sense to me. So I don't know how crippled the Ukraine Air Force is at this point, but I would suggest that it might be. So
They're
in
saying
the-
it's pretty bad.
And so in the absence of that, you use your indirect fire assets, your artillery assets, and you need to get forward observers in. You need to get your guns and other, multiple rocket launch systems in position to basically hammer that target. In the absence of that, what you need to do is figure out how you can, from the ground level, disrupt that route. So you find, I know I shouldn't use this word, choke points,
Delay,
bridges.
Rook.
You like Rook? You're editing, bud. Bridges, canalizing terrain, anything that slows them down. This is some serious counter IED shit. So the bad guys, back in the day in Afghanistan, would plant IEDs at these same type of terrain features or hard points, choke points, if you will, where that convoy slows down. So use the anti-tank mines that you have, use other means, figure it out. You need to stop that advance to allow you to get other assets to continue to neutralize it. Because right now it feels like, from what I read and see, same as you guys, that is the biggest threat to Kiev, is that a 60-mile long convoy. We got a guy, my man Bryce Hooper tonight, who's a trucker, used to run combat logistics patrols in Afghanistan. He was a trucker by trade. He'll break down what that looks like, so I could probably explain it better another time.
You know
But
what?
taking that
Chris,
fucking thing out, is huge.
you know what Army Chris just employed there? A little
What's that?
podcast comedy callback.
That's right.
There you go.
And a tease. What you did properly there was a little tease. In radio, they call it teasing, by the
You're
way.
becoming
No
a
idea what you're talking about.
professional broadcaster there, Army Chris.
Yeah, you are. Join me later, and I'll give you all the details, and I'm not going to give them to you here.
There
It's
you
like
go.
one of those
Plugging
is like,
my
yeah.
own shit. You get a little
Yeah, of
tease
course you are.
later.
No, I'm glad you are.
Bonzi does that every week.
You should.
Oh, settle down.
You got it dialed in, man. So that's what's going on
You
there.
might even be a guest on his podcast tonight if you're lucky.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on right
Yeah.
before him, though.
Yes.
Oh, you got a show tonight too, Bonds?
Yep.
All right.
Every Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
It's
9 p.m.
exciting. What do you got tonight?
Tonight we got this couple that lives here. Well, they don't live here. They're here for the winter only. They're Canadian from Alberta, and they're professional
time, I gotta
dancers,
jump out.
and they're like crazy dancers. It's hard to explain, but I can't believe this girl's not dead. Some of the stuff they do, and he swings her around and throws her and swoops her. They're interesting couple. They got a cool story, so we're going to talk to them tonight.
Right on.
All right.
And
That's
then I
lot
got
of
a
fun.
big Nika thing. I'm going to showcase town and show some pictures and videos of life in Nicaragua.
Going on a date tonight? Is that what I hear?
That's
that tomorrow?
tomorrow Friday afternoon. We're going to go out to this cool place called Hush.
Sends me a picture today. I'm going to put this picture up.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
of
This
a
is the
young
lady?
lady that, but yeah, this is who
This
Bonds
is
is
the-
going to, yeah, there's no way she's going to
How
be
is this
interested in you.
true? What happened?
Yeah, it's not happening.
What happened?
Shit, she's awesome. We met a
Is
while
she
ago.
still in the wheelchair from the head injury? Or do you have
Listen,
a
she's
lot
from
of
Oregon.
you have a lot of wheelchair accessed restaurants down in Nicaragua?
How are you at emptying out a catheter bag? Good or bad?
No, she's a wonderful person. She's from Oregon. We met, and then we had
Bring
lunch
lots of
together.
paper and
Yes.
pen so she can write down the communication. 'cause
Let him-
clearly,
Let him finish, Locke. Let him finish. Go ahead.
We had lunch yesterday. Well, we should call it brunch. And then we made plans to go out to this really cool place. It's romantic. It's nice. It's got a beautiful view of a couple of different beaches from up above. So it's a great place to go watch sunset. So she's never been out to Hush, and so she's gonna jump on the back of old Bonzi's bike, and we're gonna go out.
and
to Hush
ride old
together.
Bonzi into the sunset.
Yeah,
I
she's
can't-
awesome.
Can I ask you a question though? Like, are you paying her?
No, I'm not paying.
yeah.
It's not at all. Listen, I'm fun time.
She a
She
pro?
likes me.
She professional?
No.
Oh my, who's that?
Bonzi's going on a date with her tonight, Chris.
Yeah, we had
Oh.
lunch yesterday together, and we're going out tomorrow, I believe, to.
I
What's
hope
she
it-
running from? What's she on the run from? You think?
No,
Yeah.
she's a digital nomad, but she's
really
actually
hope
going
that
back
ends
home
well.
soon because of some commitments for work. But she's been down here for a while, and she
That
works
makes
every day
more
like a
sense.
9 to
She
5.
killed
like
somebody in her home country.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no way she's there on her own because she just
She is.
loves the
Pickens,
sun.
based on earlier videos of this
No way.
podcast, Pickens is slim in old Nicaragua. In San Lucius, lick my bag or whatever the hell you are.
San Juan del Sur, baby.
Juan Hurdo del Surdo, I think is where he is.
She
Juan
is a lovely
Hurdo.
person. She's so down
How
to
do you
earth.
know? How do you know her, dude? You had lunch with her once. How do you
but
know
no-
that?
How did
I
this come
met
to
her before,
fruition?
too.
She just hangs out at the bar. You met her
Yeah,
at
we
the
met at my
grocery
buddy's
store?
bar. One of the very first night I was here, I believe, or second night, I was sitting at my buddy's bar, and her friend came and sat down beside me, and we just got chatting and went from there. And then
Did you show her the pictures of your old haircut?
Sorry, where's she from?
I have not. She's from
Oh,
Oregon.
you should.
Oregon.
Okay, all right.
No, she
Oh,
likes
she
to
was on
go.
the run.
We don't
Does
need
she
to
know
go
about
and
the
show her
taint?
skull.
The taint? No.
It's all
Don't-
fixed up. We're good.
Did you
Oh,
get it
really?
fixed? You got the taint fixed?
Yeah, well, it's fixed.
Okay.
What did they do? What did they do? Did they have to laser
Did you
that
get it?
thing?
Did you really get it fixed? The boil on
No.
your taint?
No, I'm just sick and tired of talking about it.
Okay, forget it then.
But it's gone way down.
Did you
It's
show her
nowhere
your
near what it
third
used to be.
nut?
Gone way down.
No, I haven't
What did the
talked
doctor?
about my third
What
nut
did the
yet.
doctor say about the taint, the milking taint? What did he say?
I didn't tell him when I went to the doctor. I didn't have time to deal with it. I was leaving too soon, and I didn't have time from when I saw my doctor to come in here.
Bonzi,
You
listen
didn't
to me,
write
bro.
down,
But it doesn't
all
milk
of your
anymore or anything.
It doesn't
Just
milk
listen,
anymore.
listen, Bonds, I love you. Despite the fact that I think this is going to end really bad, I wish you the best tonight.
No,
It's
no,
not
no,
tonight,
it's
tomorrow.
not ending bad.
It's gonna end great.
It's going to end great.
And listen,
We
she
are-
told me to come out and see her this afternoon. She's out every Wednesday. There's a place called Tree Casa here. It's a really cool spot. Everybody goes for pizza. It's this huge pool and stuff.
Cool.
And she's there this afternoon and said, feel free to come by. So I
I'll
told
Well,
love
her,
that's
you down
exciting.
yeah. But no, she's
You gonna
one of the
take your
first-
shirt off in front of her?
Not right now. I'm not.
Not a boy. Good call.
You
Yeah.
should bring her up here, man.
Dude, he just had lunch with her. He's not gonna bring her into the country.
No,
Well,
that's
the
a
night,
bad
the,
idea.
the day's young.
Yeah,
The
that's
bad
true. Might happen.
shit. No, no.
You never know.
You-
We have
if you
breaking
come
news,
home,
by the way. I
You
got
should
breaking news.
You should come home alone. I don't know if you should be bringing a criminal, someone hiding
you-
from the law back.
Did you not hear that I have breaking news?
I'm
Breaking
sorry.
news. Breaking
Sorry,
news.
Dean. Yeah.
Breaking news. We've got our first bounty placed on Vladimir Putin. Russian oligarch Alex Konyankin has put a 1 million bounty on Putin's head. That's the dude.
Really?
Yeah, Russian oligarch. Grew up in Russia, born in Russia, made his money overseas. He's like, fuck Putin. I'll pay anyone $1 million to kill the guy.
I love his hair.
That is fucking awesome. He's like,
That is awesome.
$1 million. And if you're an oligarch and a billionaire, $1 million's a little light, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that should be closer to 20 to 50 million.
Right?
Yeah, but
Considering
$1 million bucks. $1 million
Considering
bucks
the
in
risk
Russia.
he just put himself in by saying that, I'd love to
Right.
make jokes about this. I would be going fucking like 100 million and get it done.
Oh yeah, put the real heat on him. I'll give $100 million to anybody. I wouldn't do it because I'm afraid for my life. So, I
But
would
$1
never
million
do that.
is a lot of money to
That's
some
a lot
people
of
over
money,
there,
man.
no?
But
Oh,
that's
yeah.
my point. Like Putin's, he's got some guys, you know. So this fucking dude could wind up in the bottom of the Adriatic tomorrow, for all we know.
Yeah.
I would have went bigger than that because you
Yeah, I
got to
would have
buy.
too.
You're not buying one guy for $1 million. You need to be buying 10 guys in his inner circle for $100 million.
You know what?
Mhm.
Honestly, I think this is how that ends. Honestly,
I agree
think
with
they
you.
got to get Putin out of there.
No, listen. The only way this ends is the people take him out of play, or the ends
I
the
would
way we
love
want it. I honestly do not believe this gentleman, in all seriousness, despite the fact that I'm 7 beers deep,
That we
that
couldn't tell.
Putin will ever back down. I really believe
No,
that
I think you're right, Chris.
the people need to take him off the map.
Yeah.
Fucking that's what I think. That's how this ends.
Love it.
Or
Love
that's
it.
the
You
way
think it's going to end that way, Chris?
I
Or
think
is
that's
or
how-
is Ukraine
I'll
fucked?
tell you what. You just saw the first indication, and this is on day 1. So day 7 of the war, this fucking guy's going, fuck that. Here's $1 million. I want
You know
I
what?
want to see the next guy up the ante going, I'll see his 1 million and raise you 10.
You know what, Bonzi? I think the thing that that makes me think that that's the only way out is how the rest of the world is handling it, and his ego is such that he's just going to double down. It doesn't. He's all in. He's thrown all his chips into the middle of the table now, and so has the West. And I wish they would do more. Like I'd like to see the EU make them a member of the EU, and I'd like to see them be thrown into NATO immediately, and I'd like to see a full scale protection of the Ukraine people, like tomorrow. I'd like to see all that shit done right away. And I love how creative everybody's being. I mean, I think every fucking sports organization has shut the door on everybody that's Russian.
Did you hear about Did you hear about what they did to like hockey, NHL, CCM? Did you hear what they did to all the Russian hockey players?
Love it.
They they took every ad dollar and every ad sponsorship that Ovechkin had is gone. CCM, Mass Mutual, anything that Ovechkin or any Russian athlete who plays in the NHL had endorsed, MasterCard, they just said, you're done. You're done.
Boom,
and then I see tweets from people and I see sports donkeys going, this is bullshit. And I'm like, hold it. This is not the point.
No.
Like, this is the common sense is gone. And the screws have to be put on everybody to turn on this guy, which is, I think, why you saw that oligarch go, that's it. Fuck it. $1 million. I've had enough. Because I don't want my nest egg touched. Everybody else is saying the same thing, to the point that Roman Abramovich, just basically the dude that owns Chelsea FC, he's the Russian billionaire, deep into Premiership, and he's loved by the fan base because he's brought tons of money and championships to that club. He's selling it and giving all the money to Ukrainian victims. He's like, nah, whatever, just give the money to them. Like,
awesome.
This is when this, and I said this the other day, when you turn the screws around him, everybody starts staring at him, to Chris's point, which is what I love.
And the more creative they are, the better off, the more impact it's going to have, because it's going to be harder and harder and harder and harder to explain away. It's one thing, right, to say, well, you know what, we're going to have to, we're on our own. We can't sell our oil to the Western dicks anymore. But it's another thing to go, your athletes can't come to tournaments. We can't trade anymore on the stock exchange around the world. We can't fly anywhere. Last
night's State of the Union, Biden's like, by the way, we're closing airspace to every Russian airplane on the planet.
And no more skip the ditches.
I think they should go and they should start looking at all the Russian-owned businesses in Canada, and I think they should start shutting them down. Like, I don't care how big they are. I think they should walk in and go, you can't do business here until this thing's over. I'm sorry. You're going to have to. If there is any ownership stake at all from Russia, I think they should shut those businesses down. I don't care what the cost is to Canadians. Like, I'll chew on it. I'll chew on that.
You do know the oil patch in Alberta is owned like 20% by Russian oligarchs, right?
Shut the fucking thing right down. Shut it down.
But you know
literally
what?
Walk everybody out. And I'm not kidding. I think it's the only way you can fight this without going in there
to force them to fight him, right? You're not talking about like hurting me. You're talking about them making them fight him. Yeah, totally.
Yes.
As long as the messaging is clear that we're doing this, get rid of your fucking guy. He's got to go. He's the problem, not you. But you're paying for it until you resolve it. Resolve the problem.
They get that. A lot of Russians are starting to pick up on that.
I fucking hope so, because this can't keep going the way it's going, because I honestly fear that if this guy's painted into a corner, he's going to create a direction that the planet does not want to go in.
I agree with you, but I don't see another way out. Like as soon as this started to be a path that we were on, I was like, you know what? Don't stop. Don't dip your dick halfway in here. You have to go full on, or it's just not going to work, because if we show any weakness, he'll exploit it. Putin will exploit it, and he'll be able to explain it away. So you have to go hard, like hard. And again, a lot of very weak, in my opinion, a lot of weak leaders are doing strong things right now around the world, which is impressing the shit out of it, including our piece of shit leader in this country. has done a couple of things and made a couple of moves where I was
Well,
like,
you know,
wow.
and it ain't him. It ain't him. You got to give all that credit to Christopher Freeland. Christopher Freeland is like literally Putin's like worst enemy. Christopher, there was a book on Christopher Freeland at KGB headquarters when she was in university. Like she is the one. And listen, in the world economy of what's happening in this world and what's gone on with sanctions, Canada's Christopher Freeland is the person that has put all this together.
Good.
The central bank, the SWIFT messaging
I didn't want to give
service.
Justin Trudeau credit.
No,
anyway.
it's her. It's all her. And she is absolutely despised by Putin. Putin fucking hates her guts as she was like 22.
Some of the things
she's
that
written
we're
too,
doing,
like defining books on his dictatorship and his style and the Russian economy and the Ukraine. She's Ukrainian.
Some of the things that we're doing in Canada are actually being copied by other countries around the world right now.
Yeah,
so I'm glad you brought up the source of that. Sorry, Chris.
Trudeau's commitment to military supply, because I know this segues into what Dean wants to talk about, is a fucking embarrassment. Like, just don't send anything. He wants to send
some of those the guns.
The Carl Gustav is fucking ancient tech.
Is it
compared to the Javelin system? And we're gonna send 100 of them. Now, don't get me wrong; they can use them, but it's like, fuck, man. Why don't you just take some of that money that you... No, I'm not going to go there. People will get mad at me. Some of the money that you blow on bullshit and say, you know what? Canada will buy 5,000 or 100,000 or fucking 1,000 Javelin missile systems off the U.S. and we'll contribute that. Spend the money. Don't send them antiquated shit with a bullshit quantity of 100, and we're going to send some body armor and some helmets. The Ukrainian army already has better helmets than we do, trust me. And some night vision goggles. And our fucking night vision goggles are also like a 10 years old. So we're gonna send a small quantity of antiquated fucking shit that could barely outfit, I would say, 350 guys. All right.
Well, it's a good thing we're leading the charge with sanctions then. I mean, we don't have a lot of shit.
You know what? Like, it's one of those things where he's that drunk guy at the party where you're like, stop talking. Your wife's going to shit on you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we know.
I have a question actually about supplying what are we calling it? The group of international...
the International Legion... Just call it the International Brigade, because the fucking name they came up with is way too long for anybody.
International Legion Foreign Fighting Brigade.
That would be it. Correct.
We have 11,000 people spread in and around the borders of the surrounding countries of Ukraine right now. Poland mostly, right?
Correct.
And they are getting ready to go in and help. I have a question. If you're sending that group in, can it be obvious that they're being equipped by NATO countries? Like, how does that work? Like, I understand there's some technicalities here based on the fact that Ukraine is not a NATO country, and we can supply the Ukraine army. Like, Canada can donate, even though you're saying they're outdated tech. We can give that Ukraine army something to fight back at Russia. Can we give an international group of fighters that are volunteering from around the fucking world, that are showing up on the borders going, send me in, boss? Are we allowed to equip them?
So how that would work was they'd bypass that. What they would do is directly fund the Ukraine, and the Ukraine government is what is fueling this international brigade. Right?
Okay, so that's the loophole.
So it goes like that. That's the loophole. They would not directly fund this ragtag fugitive fleet, as Jimmy would say. What they will do is directly supply the Ukraine, as they promised to, and as the world is. And what the Ukraine does with those resources, whether they send them to conventional Ukrainian forces that are already there, or they say they will plan what they want this international brigade to look like based on its skill set and composition, and then decide how to resource it. But understand that international brigade will not operate as an independent unit. It'll augment conventional Ukraine forces. So they will be equipped in a like fashion, if you will,
Yeah.
with the way that force, with the way that group of Ukrainian conventional forces is augmented. So if they say, okay, you're a javelin detachment, we're gonna send 3 detachments of javelin missile guys to take out armor, and you're gonna be augmented by guys from the International Brigade. That's how it'll work. So it'll be very much a melting pot. So there'll never be any direct.
That's not illegal. That doesn't break international
No.
law.
That's fine. There's no direct supply to this.
I think it's hilarious we're talking about following rules right now.
Well,
You're
but
kidding me.
you have to be aware of it.
I
though.
know, but fuck, dude. Like the guy, did we not?
I agree.
I'll show you this video. Like, let me show you this video. This is in Kharkiv city center.
Fuck, I want them to go in there and blow the fuck out of them. But I mean,
Me too.
I also don't want them to use anything against us.
Oh fuck
in like Russia. Like,
fuck that at this point.
I'm with Dean, man. Fuck
that.
them. Let's go.
Yeah, let me show you this video and tell me what is this called? Carpet or cluster bombing? Watch this.
Идите, я догоню.
Last for fucking ever. I don't want to listen to the crying because it makes me sad. But last for fucking ever. What was that?
That's carpet bombing is a series of heavy munitions. Cluster bombs is they come down and they float and then they blast out, and that's what that looked like to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
they look like little marbles.
Either way,
or something.
that's used to interdict a large amount of area. That's really good for runways. If you want to fuck up a runway so the bad guys' planes can't fly off the ground, that's what that is, right?
Yeah, but that's indiscriminate. That to me,
Well,
that's Freedom Square in Kharkiv. That's a war crime.
I'm not. You know what? Yes, I agree with you, but I mean, I can't speak for the Russians' intelligence and targeting system, but the fucking Americans did the same shit in Baghdad. It's you're never gonna know. My intelligence says that that's a strategic tactical target that and we blow it up, and then suddenly it's a fucking hospital. That's called warfare. If you look at World War II, the shit that
happened,
it's off the chains. I'm not saying that there's this rhetoric coming out in the media that they're purposely targeting civilian targets. I just don't see that as a smart decision, even as insane as Putin is, that they're doing that. So I struggle with that. I'm not arguing it because I'm not there and I'm reading what I read, same shit you guys are reading.
Yeah.
But I fucking doubt they're intentionally doing that. It feels collateral or bad intelligence, which wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But maybe they are. Maybe
they got soldiers.
I fucking don't believe
they
that.
got
Russian intelligence.
Don't know they are there to
Exactly.
take over a country.
Right. So how good's their fucking intelligence? And Buddy's on the phone with his mom going, "Oh shit, I'm not a
prisoner of
peacekeeper.
war,
I'm a
Mom. We
fucking
thought we were
prisoner
on
of war."
exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Maddening.
I was trying to pick up a Ukrainian girl to marry her, Mom.
Yeah, there I was on Tinder, and suddenly I'm a POW on what I thought was a peacekeeping mission. Fuck, who knew?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I can't. I don't think it's deliberate, but I think it's a complete colostomy bag on the Russian side thus far, and it's not intended. It's going to be spun in the Western media to fuel that isolating of Moscow and of Russia, and they're not wrong. They've hit civilian targets. So Russia needs to figure out what the hell they're going to do.
It's interesting because for the first time in the Russian press, there was an announcement that that they're in the Ukraine, that there is a battle going on, that they're fighting to liberate the Ukraine, and they admitted to losing 458 soldiers, and they admitted that on Russian state media.
See, that's the beginning of the end for Putin. Now that you've just said that they're admitting it on state media, and we've got these fucking Russian billionaires putting bounties on his head, this is the beginning of the end for him. So what's he going to do?
Well, and here's the thing, too, is that not only are they putting bounties on his head, not only are they completely isolated, he is actually introducing 15-year prison sentences for any media outlet that says something that is alternative to what comes out of the Kremlin. 15-year prison sentences. Entire newspapers, radio stations, television stations just shut themselves down because they're like, fuck this. That happened yesterday. Like something like 70% of their media outlets either were turned off, or people got arrested yesterday.
But it's interesting.
So,
He's admitting he's
desperation.
in a war.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
If
he
said
has to
half
now,
his-
dude.
half his fucking
7,000
army's
people
there that-
were fucking sent back in body bags. Like
He's starting to lose control of his country, and he's getting fucking desperate.
Yeah,
his
dude.
ego-
I want to
Go ahead.
I wanna ask you about-
are feeding that.
I want to ask you about this American dude who came up. He was on my radar yesterday. His name's Russell Bentley III. He's been embedded with these fucking. This is totally weird. Guy from Texas. He's like a career criminal. Went in 2014. He's like, for some reason, he just decided to join the Russian army. He's literally been part of the propaganda effort for a long time. I want you to watch this. I don't fucking. This guy is like. He's gonna be a fucking stain on the side of a tank. A big.
He's fighting with Steven Seagal.
Сейчас работа. It's chaos on the front line with the denazifiers and liberators of Ukraine. These guys are tough, these guys are ready, and there's plenty of them. So far, Russia has used about 10% of its military power, and we're getting ready to bring the hammer down. These guys are gonna save and liberate all the good people in Ukraine, and the bad people, boom, kick their ass.
Did you see in the background? Did you see in the background the Russian guy tried to close the door on the tank and it won't close?
Okay, I fucking have not seen that before.
I didn't
That
get
is,
that. I thought that was a troll job.
No, that was a. His name's
But that
Russell
guy's
Bentley
real.
III. He's from Texas. He's a career criminal. He was a huge marijuana advocate back in the 80s when they get shot for it. He's been running around Alaska. He's been selling drugs, living off the grid. Finally, he goes to the Ukraine in like 2014. He's like, I want to fight with the Russians because I'm pretty sure they're fighting Nazis. And he literally is that fucked in the head. He thinks they're
He
fighting
did
Nazis.
something in the Ukraine. I was
Yeah.
reading, and they kicked him out of the country. They took because he had a temporary Ukrainian passport.
Yep.
And that went sideways. So then he went to Russia, thinking that was a good idea. He's apparently got some sort of a podcast or some sort of a show in Russia that's quite popular. And
He's the fat version of you, dude.
yeah. He's
I
got
wonder
the
if he's got a
locker room.
little person on his show.
Doesn't look like he's doing yoga every day, though,
I
either,
don't
does
think,
it?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
It doesn't. I don't think he's gonna make it.
Yeah. You know what?
He's
I was
been
laughing because I
For a lot
posted
of
that.
years.
I posted that and someone's like, is he a gravy seal?
He's
And I'm like,
yeah. He's
from the Russian gravy? And he's like,
that guy's-
yeah, Meal Team 6, right?
he's
Meal
straight
Team
out of
6.
Meal Team 6.
You know what? This
100%.
guy is an example of how far crazy will protect you. If you can buy in and sink your teeth into crazy,
Right.
you can exist anywhere.
I'm interested in the fact
Hey,
that
Bonzi?
Oh,
how old
that's
do you
just
think
it.
that?
I
How old
knew
do you
that was
think that
coming.
guy is, Dean? 60.
He's
something?
54. He's 54. I read about it yesterday.
Oh, Jesus.
54. He
2
looks like
years
he's
older
70.
than me. Looks
Wow.
like 70.
He's 3 years older than I am. He's not looking well.
The denazifiers are going to kick some ass. But, dude, the best part of that entire video, without question, is I want you to watch in the background.
I didn't
Play it
even pay
again with the
attention.
guy in the back.
The guy in the background they're like, we're ready to go. We only use 10% of our shit. We're fucking locked and loaded. The guy behind him, the Russian's like, the tank door won't close. Watch it. Right there. He's trying to get over to the. There he is. Right there. Watch it. Nope. 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 Fuck. I can't get it. Gotta get it. Maybe move that.
Kick something.
No.
out of
Bit
it.
of dirt.
Hey, hang on. Maybe I'm gonna get out. Let's get out first. You can't even close the door.
That reminds me of why the Motorola Razor is the strongest phone in the world.
Meal Team 6.
Yeah.
Russell Bentley the third.
I was trying to close the hatch on an armored personnel carrier in 2009 in the dark, and it wouldn't close, and I'm fucking jumping on it. beating on it. I finally close it. I go into the tent. I reach for my cell phone. It's not there. I go back. I jam my cell phone, which is a Motorola Razr, the strongest phone on earth. And it was all fucked up. Springs are hanging out of it, and it still worked. And I went back to our quartermaster and said, dude, I need a new fucking phone. I've been where that Russian dude is.
Fuck. Lots of fun today, but I do want to finish off the show with two of the possibly most painful minutes in the history of Wheel of Fortune. Do you guys watch the show?
I
No,
did.
I
I
wanna
saw
see
this
it.
yesterday.
It gives me anxiety watching 2 minutes of Wheel of Fortune because these people are so fucking stupid. I'm like, how do you fucking justify putting on 3 contestants that cannot figure out the most common? Because it's all it is like, study these phrases, come back on Tuesday, we'll record Wheel of Fortune. You might win a few $1,000. These people clearly didn't study. Watch this and try not to yell at the fucking screen.
Okay. Another feather in your hat.
Wow.
Did she say cat?
Hat.
Hat. Oh, okay. Is that Vanna?
Yeah, she's still
She's still looking good, right?
Yeah, here we go. No G.
No. Vanna's clapping.
She's good. Oh, bankrupt.
Do you think?
State homage.
Do you think Thomas had it though?
He had
I don't think he did.
Okay.
I don't think Thomas.
Another
He
feather
didn't.
in your lap.
See, Vanna, she was all ready to go and do it. And she's like,
Lap.
This fucking can't be real.
It is. It's so real. Watch this.
No. Thomas.
D.
Could I get a D?
Thomas, you have no money left, but you can win this whole thing. Oh,
And this
Thomas
guy's
is
just
the
got
biggest.
What a dork.
You can try to solve the puzzle. What do you want to do?
Poor Thomas.
Go ahead and spin if you don't
He's
know.
dying. He's dying.
He's gonna spin again. I might get a P.
Well, what letter would you like? A P? Yes, there's a P.
Okay.
Okay,
Wait.
they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it.
I will solve. Okay. Another feather in your map.
Matt, are you kidding me? What?
This has to be fucking staged.
Vanna's face is.
Oh,
Oh, we got
there's
another
bankrupt
bankrupt.
again.
Oh, I wish that would have been Thomas.
Here we go.
I
Tommy.
wanted Thomas to get bankrupt again.
Oh, come on, Tommy. Finish it off for us, buddy. Finish it off.
A C. Is there a C up there anywhere? There you go.
Oh, it's Christmas miracle.
Another feather in your cap.
Yeah.
Yay! All right. I mean, there it is.
that
Finally.
is painful. You were right.
We got. That was fucking. I watched that and it was like, when I was a
It
kid
gave
and
me
I'm
anxiety too.
I would scream at the TV like at the Flintstones, Fred, he's behind you. Like I would scream like Gilligan, look out, Gilligan. There's the bad guys. I was like, it's feather in your cap, you fucks. I was screaming it at my fucking phone yesterday. Feather in your cap, feather in your cap. And I was like, then I read my kids are like, you okay? I'm like, oh no, I was just playing along. Don't worry about it. It's all right.
George Clooney used to play. He's famous for his pranks, but he played a joke on a buddy that put him up back in early in his career when he wasn't doing much. He was getting the odd audition, but he was spending a lot of time at home. And the guy that he was living with had a full-time gig in television, like a 9-to-5 writer thing, and had a spare room and said, listen, I'll cover your ass until you get on your feet. And you go audition when you can, and hopefully you'll land yourself a gig. So for months, he was not landing anything and going to an audition in the morning, coming home in the afternoon, and doing what he could around the place to help keep it tidy and everything like that. And just to sort of, pay his way. And he would watch the early feed, the Eastern feed of Jeopardy. And he would memorize all the answers because his buddy was a huge fucking Jeopardy fan. So his buddy would come home, make dinner and sit down at the TV. And then George would just wander around the fucking house and then yell out the answers. And his buddy was like, thought that George was a fucking genius Jeopardy player. And he said, I had that guy going for months. He told another story about another buddy he had that put him up when he was young. And he had a cat and a little kitty. And he was scooping the shit out of the kitty, the litter in the morning and flushing it. And the owner wasn't aware that George was doing this. Fuck, he was telling this on a podcast. It was so funny. I was laughing my ass off. And so he went like 2-3 days, and then the buddy goes, I think I'm worried about the kitty because it's not pooping. And then George was like, so he was desperately going in there, checking whenever he could to get rid of the poop to keep the fucking
How much
joke
do you
going.
want to fuck with your buddies when you religiously take the cat shit out of the litter just to be an asshole?
I was
this
waiting
fucking
for
guy- No, it's not over yet. Let me finish. It gets better. He takes the cat to the vet. The vet gives him some pills and everything. Like, now the cat's shitting its brains out, and he's like scooping it up. And then he's sitting there. He goes into the bathroom with his newspaper to take his morning dump, and he realizes the only way to end this. So he took a huge shit in the kitty.
George did.
George.
That's a hell of
He
a
left
prankster.
it there, and his buddy came home, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
I kept waiting for Norm Macdonald, rest in peace, to come out as Turd Ferguson to solve the fucking puzzle. Right?
That's
Like,
two
why not?
pranks.
Why
Brilliant
not?
pranks from
It's
one
one of the greatest pranks I've ever
That
heard.
is good.
I mean, just to be able to think on your feet, like, what do I do? I guess I have to take a huge shit in the
That's
cat box. I
funny.
mean,
the only way to end this.
that's the only way. Oh, my cheeks hurt. That's fucking
know, right?
great. I love Clooney. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Bonzi Live. He's got a big podcast tonight. He's going to talk to a couple of crazy dancers down in Monsuro del Potro.
And he's got a hot date.
El Horo.
He's got a date
Hot
right
date.
away.
Got a hot date.
Yeah.
Things are looking up for old Bonzarelli down here.
Dude, she's too hot for you.
And
You
for
know
all
that.
you people that are asking questions about army shit tonight,
Yep.
tune into my pod. I'll answer your questions. We didn't get a time to get to them.
What time
All
do you go live?
I'll be live at 1800, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 1 hour before Bonzi goes live, which is
That's-
7 p.m. Toronto time.
All right.
No, it's
8.
8 p.m. You're 2 hours ahead in Ontario.
Yeah.
That too. I love that porn music you got going on, man.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Great.
I'm just glad you didn't drop a little hot misogyny on the program today. That was good. Nice to see
Delay.
you.
You know, we have a new nickname for you at work. I told the boys about what you did on the
Delay
podcast
Chris?
the other day. Yeah, no, we're calling always record Army Chris.
7-second delay.
Yeah, we don't need that here. That is Army Chris. Fire for Effect is a podcast tonight, 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. He'll give you a full update on a sit rep on what's going on. You like that? I even worked your lingo in sit
Very,
rep.
very well done. Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah, Bonzi's got his podcast tonight, too. It's Bonzi Live with my friend, Tripping with Bonzi is the name of the podcast, with my friend Greg Bond. He's going to do one live from the beaches of Nicaragua. That'll be a lot of fun. You can tune into his
his
feed
new
on
date.
YouTube with his hot
With
date
his hot
tomorrow.
new
Yeah.
date.
Probably not going to
I'll
do
get her on
anything
the
hot.
show.
I
Hey,
doubt it.
check if she's got an ankle bracelet. Just saying.
And she is not on the run.
Right. No one is.
People
I
like
got
that
it.
down.
Hopefully she'll let you drive her. Hopefully she'll let you drive her scooter, her rascal.
Dude, everybody that's there is on the run. It's not, you can't say she's not. She's on the run from something. It might not be the law, but everybody that left to go down to Nicaragua for no reason whatsoever is on the run.
Yes.
Listen, I'm not
absolutely.
running from it. Well, demons in my brain, but it's not really. It's different.
Yes.
I'm down here. Dude, I'm on the run from the cold and the snow and the bullshit
All
that
right.
you guys are dealing with. That's what I'm running from.
18 degrees here today. Had a great day. Was out outside all morning. Beautiful here. I think it's
Not
like
here.
20 in Edmonton.
Oh
too.
my god!
Nice.
If she
Anyway.
shows up to dinner with a full, like a helmet and like a full body cast, you need to take a picture of that for us.
Stop
We'll
Googling.
get some pictures. Don't you worry.
Dude, make sure you
Ankle
pick like a
bracelet form.
wheelchair accessible restaurant for you guys too, by the way.
Yeah. so she can get her rascal to the table.
Yeah, and chop up her
Bonzi,
food for her.
fuck these guys. I love you. I hope it goes well, man.
Thank you.
Chop up her food for her, really small too.
Hey, listen, it wouldn't be Bonzi on Dean's show without a little ribbon from the boys.
We love you.
Watch her. Watch her. She's working for some drug lord. Talk Bonzi into being a drug mule.
Yeah.
Take back
if you really
kilo
loved
of
me,
heroin to
you'd put
Canada.
2 kilos of this in your asshole and hoop it across the border. If you
That's
really
what
loved
this
me.
is. You know what? It took a while to figure out what this was, but we've
Yeah.
boiled it down.
No offense. She's too hot for me, so she's for sure too hot for you.
Have you seen? Look at this.
Yeah,
Been
I know,
working
you're
hard. I
Bonzi,
got
you're
the
a
nice look
good-looking
going.
guy. We're just
Yeah.
being honest with you, right? Like, that's all.
Listen,
That's
listen.
all.
When she
Don't
was
do it.
checking your ass out,
It's not.
when she was checking your ass out, all she was thinking is how many balloons can I get up that fucking thing?
Hey, you joke. I actually crossed the border one time from Nicaragua home to Toronto, and I got home and found a little special package in my backpack. And I got stopped by security too, and they took
And
out
they
the
didn't
bottle
check-
of Gatorade
Yeah,
that I'd forgot was in there, and they missed the gram of Coke that I'd missed taking out as well.
that's
And,
odd.
boy,
You
I
should
had
be
a
in jail.
heart attack when I got home.
I would too.
That
Well,
was an
listen, try to keep the illegal drugs out of your rectum and hang in there until you get back here next week. And if she asks you to hoop something, just say, no mas. I'm not interested. I don't want to put anything in my
no,
crack.
that's no bueno.
But
Or
appreciate
before you
it.
go meet with her, just test your prison wallet and tell
Yeah.
her how many pod tides you can get in there.
Ooh, I can do Kegels like nobody's business. Yeah. Yeah, give her
Just
your
so
hot
you
dog
know,
count.
I got 9 in.
And then do this. Like that.
That's what this
See where it
is.
goes.
Get it?
Yeah, like
I
that.
was able to sit down.
Yeah, that's a
and
good
I
one.
got
Yeah.
9 in.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I don't eat for 2 days, I can get 10 in. Don't hoop any drugs on your
Chris
rail.
just spit beer
Fucking
everywhere.
shit everywhere.
He's wasted. He's wasted in the comment section. Someone's like, "What's wrong with Army Chris today?" And someone's like, "He's allowed to be drunk. He's an Army veteran."
I gotta call Uber Eats to bring me some beer for fuck's sakes.
All right. Thanks for your time,
All
there,
right,
Chris.
thank you,
See
gentlemen.
tonight, pal.
Good time.
Always.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, appreciate
Bonzi,
you.
it was
Thank
good
you,
seeing you,
Bonzi.
buddy. You look
Awesome
good,
to see
man.
you.
You look
I
good.
love your smiling face. I love you too, buddy. You have a great time. Enjoy
What's
your
her
day with
name?
that chick.
What's her
Yeah,
name?
don't give him the name. Don't give Lachlan her
Don't
name.
give him the don't
Do
give
not
him the
give
name.
him any
I'm
more
not.
information.
It'll be on
Yeah,
the fucking
keep that-
radio tomorrow. I promise.
Keep it
you.
tight.
Trust me.
Keep it tight.
No, it's Susie.
Yeah.
Susie. Say hi
Deborah.
to Susie for
Deborah.
me.
I like Deborah.
Yeah, go with Deborah. Then he won't say anything about her. Do it.
Good point.
I know how you work.
That's a brilliant idea, Dean. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because anytime he badmouths Deborah, he's got a Deborah in the house that he's been married to for 30 years. So probably will shut the fuck up.
Do you
Yeah.
think she listens to this?
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Locke, how's the neighbor? Please tell him I said hi.
Fuck you.
Have a great day, everybody. That is Lachlan Cross.
Ciao.
He's out. That is Army Chris. He's gone. That is my friend Bonzi. Bonzi live tonight on his Twitter feed. Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. Woo! Loosey Goosey is right. We're loose today. We're running loose. Thanks to our friends and sponsors over at Easy Auto Financial for making this possible. Easy Auto Financial, people that help you get in cars. Listen, getting credit and getting financing for any kind of vehicle purchase is a pain in the ass. Everybody wants to charge you for it. Nickel, dime, nickel, dime. These guys don't do that. And they don't charge you for your financing either. So check them out if you're in the market for a new car. They make everything turnkey. Go to easyautofinancial.ca today and sign up. Free of charge, zero obligation. Great people that do great business. easyautofinancial.ca. Phew. Also, thanks to our friends over at Ed's Fine Imports. His Gitch are on me. They should be on you too, fellas. Luxury branded underwear, boxer briefs, pouch in the front. You just nestle your things in there and everything's good. It wicks all the moisture away. No one wants to talk about undercarriage moisture. But that's why they made the pouch. The pouch is so it keeps everything away from you so that you don't get the stank and you don't feel gross and you feel great all day. Dude, you got to try these. It's like science. It's like science in your underwear. Science around your junk. Ed's Fine Imports. Gitch is the name of the underwear. Gitch3 is your promo code. Use it today, and you'll get a free pair of underwear when you order from edsfineimports.com. And last but not least, of course, Domination. Dominate your content with dominate.com, dmntn.com. AI for people that love to produce content. They save you hours editing instead of like hours for one piece of a promo or one piece of legacy content, one thing. Takes minutes. You get like 70 of them, one file. It's incredible. If you're a gamer, streamer, podcaster, and you're a producer of content, try them for free today. dmntn.com. Again, dmntn.com. I think that's it for us. Don't forget, you can sign up for our newsletter at deanblundell.com. You can pick what you get and what you don't want to get. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dean Blundell Show on YouTube, and our channel on Twitch, sparsely populated. We're busy. Dean Blundell TV on Twitch, where you can see this all happen live as well, including the videos we play. It's kind of a bonus. Don't forget, you can subscribe Apple, Google, Spotify as well. For us, we will see y'all tomorrow. My friend Ryan Imgrind, biostatistician, will drop in. We'll talk a little bit about lifting mandates when we did in masks, and if that was a great idea. Spoiler alert, not really. Anyway, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.